We have a critical mass of Sharia-compliant residents in Michigan, transforming communities and normalizing criminal behavior. Michigan has been recognized as having Sharia bills. Uh, People have been included us in books like WorldNet Daily and Breitbart publications by Philip Haney and Jim Simpson, Leo Holman, Raheem Kassam, and of course Ann Corcoran. Secure Michigan itself has been labeling Sharia bills across Michigan, and as a consequence, has itself been labeled by the Southern Poverty Law Center as one of their official anti-Muslim hate groups. That's brought us new levels of harassment and protest. Certainly, we are not an anti-Muslim group. We are certainly definitely anti-Sharia. Sharia compliant medical community has been growing in Michigan for 40 or 50 years. The immigration in the medical profession into Michigan has been extraordinarily high, and that's enabled it to establish a structure, infiltrate the business community, the medical community, be people who are not just heads of mosques, but also on commissions and boards set by the governor and other people. That ability has been able to cover up crime. For example, FGM, the first FGM federal crime was brought to bear in the last several months, but all these years there have obviously been examples, and it's being uncovered. The Sharia FGM crime has been occurring in Michigan under the radar. We try to focus on Sharia crime because we have so many Sharia compliant people in Michigan. So we focus on honor killing in Farmington Hills, no-fault rape, where Uber drivers in Detroit and Lansing and other parts of the country are in fact raping female passengers simply because they're not covered and because Sharia-compliant men think women are property. We're following mosque infiltrations in other parts of the country, wondering what's going on in 140 mosques we have in Michigan. We are unable to penetrate those mosques, and that's a problem. We're very familiar with studies and articles in America and other places about the level of radicalization that takes place inside of mosques. We have no visibility on any of that. We see halal meat and halal food stores and halal shopping all over Michigan. Within a 20-mile radius of one town, Sterling Heights, you can find 75 different places to consume, buy, and or consume halal meat. The Department of Justice continues to have meetings with the Muslim Brotherhood community, favoring them, listening to their complaints, their Islamophobia complaints. That continues now 16, 17 years after 9/11. It continues under the Trump administration. Lawsuits have been filed in Michigan alleging favoring of Islam by communities like Sterling Heights, where citizens' rights to speak out have been curtailed and First Amendment rights are part of the lawsuit. Of course, we've also got sanctuary cities and welcoming cities on the growth path in Michigan. We have over 19 welcoming cities, and we have a candidate for governor who wants to make Michigan a sanctuary state. That's certainly part of deterioration of life in Michigan. We have a candidate who is a former officer in the Muslim Student Association, whose father-in-law continues to be a prominent part of the executive team of CARE Michigan. That candidate, Abdul El Said, was identified by Linda Sarsour at the ISNA convention, as she invited money to pour in to his candidacy from around the country. And in fact, he's raised over $1 million. If you look at the contribution records, you will see large numbers of donors from the medical community. Clearly, Sharia-compliant medical community is a big part of Michigan's configuration on the topic of Islam. So we are in a spiral in Michigan, and that's one of the reasons that we're focusing on Sharia crime, and that's why we're participating in the Sharia Crime Stoppers program.